Last night at 6:32 Eastern Time, right in the middle of dinner, Donald Trump sent out a truth post, his version of Twitter, in which he announced a ceasefire with Iran. Here's exactly what he said. This would be 1 hour and 28 minutes before the total destruction of Iran that he had been promising, the implied use of nuclear weapons or some other weapon of mass destruction, a weapon powerful enough to eliminate an entire country in one night, as he said. So that's what people were expecting to see. That's what he'd promised to deliver. And instead, this statement: subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. We've already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the U.S. and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America as president, and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it's an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Well, amen. Cold water on a hot day. The nation, the world, breathed a sigh of relief.
Nothing like what we have, and there is nothing like what we have. And that's why I did that. I made deals with the devil in order to get that done.
Has Hezbollah blown up Christian holy sites? Has Hezbollah targeted ambulances?
No, they haven't. In fact, the opposite. Hezbollah was, in fact, protecting the Christian churches and protecting the symbolic areas of religious importance to Christians. There's footage of them going into churches and cleaning up and tidying up and standing around, protecting the Christian faith. If you listen to the speeches of Hassan Nasrallah, he said the Hezbollah are the main defenders of the Christian faith. So no, they're not destroying ambulances. They're not destroying churches. They're not destroying mosques. They're not destroying people's homes. But Israel is, and it's doing it with American and Western supplied weapons as well.
Well, you probably heard a lot about the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, on this show and elsewhere. He's the guy who's always at the White House working to suck the United States into some war of conquest on behalf of his country. But what you may not know is that the charges against Netanyahu are real. Corruption charges. They tell you a lot about him. What exactly do you know about this man who's apparently in charge of the United States? Well, we are now streaming The Bibi Files. It's a documentary that pulls back the curtain on Benjamin Netanyahu. This film traces the rise of the longest-serving prime minister in the history of Israel and the corruption cases surrounding him. Hear from former staff and Israeli insiders describing what Benjamin Netanyahu is really like, and see leaked interrogation footage from his corruption investigations. Video that you were not meant to see and that they definitely don't want you to see. The Bibi Files, it offers a rare look inside Israel's power structure and the man whose decisions have once again drawn our country into another war, a big war. You can stream it now. Only how did this tiny country convince the world's great superpower with the greatest military in history to do its bidding in a way that was going to hurt it? The most obvious answer is because Bibi told the president of the United States, you can join me or not, but I'm going. And at that point, you really only have two choices: get on board or tell Israel no. And if they did it, that would not protect us, because there are hundreds of thousands of Americans in the Middle East, and they're also the world's most important energy infrastructure. Now, of course, there's a third theoretical option. You say, no, and if you do it, we're going to cut off aid. But that was not even on the table. The last president to do that was John F. Kennedy in 1962, when he got in a dispute with the founding prime minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, over Israel's nuclear program at Dimona. And President Kennedy said, no, can't keep testing, and I'm demanding inspections. And of course, he was not able to make good on those promises because he was killed. The truth is, and this is hard to say as a proud American, but the United States didn't make the decision here. Benjamin Netanyahu did. What would be the effect if we wind up with digital programmable currency?
If we move there, then if I want you to not be able to leave your home, your money won't work if you leave your home. If I want you to be able to eat foods made with insects and not be able to buy real meat, your money won't work to buy real meat. If I want you to take a vaccine a month and I mandate vaccines for you and your family, if you don't, I'll turn off your money. So I have complete control of your food, your health care, your spatial social, travel, everything. So you were no longer in a democracy or a democratic republic. You were in a slavery system.